So, with Godzilla minus one hitting U.S. theaters and to great success, I heard it's been making quite the splash for a lot of the kaiju fans, and has been doing very well in the Japanese box office. So I thought it would be kind of fun to talk about this whole thing and give basically a more or less just a topic in general, just kind of talk about this topic for this video. And what is that, ladies and gentlemen? Well, basically what this is going to be talking about what Toho's next move should be and what it could be. So obviously Toho has been I wouldn't say riding off the coattails. That's the wrong choice of word here. Is that riding off the coattails is very much not the right word for this, for what Toho's been doing with Legendary. In that, Legendary has been basically using Godzilla and some other kaiju they've had on loan for their movies in the MonsterVerse. Obviously, in April, we're going to see the continuation of the MonsterVerse with New Kingdom, and I guarantee you that probably either tomorrow at the earliest or next week, Monday or Tuesday, I guarantee you we will get a trailer of the New Empire. We will be getting a trailer for the New Empire. If not tomorrow, I don't know why my voice went high like that. If not tomorrow, then definitely Monday, Tuesday at the latest. I shouldn't guarantee that because that might be bullshit, but still, that's what I'm thinking, because all this promotion we've been seeing, I guess I'll talk about it real quick, is we've been seeing all this promotion for Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire. We've been seeing promotional posters more, and it looks like they're revving up for a big trailer release or a first look or something of that degree. That's what it is, and I do think we'll be getting that soon. Anyway, getting back to the original point of this video, is that more or less what's going on is that Toho has clear aspirations, and obviously with how well Godzilla minus one has done in Japan, as well as it's been doing fair enough here in America. It's been doing it has gotten a big release, but it hasn't gotten it didn't get a massive release. I heard somewhere the projections are 8 million, somewhere the 8 to 10 million in the projection, but I do think that's still good. That for a release like that, to get that, especially for a foreign movie, that's still very good numbers, especially with how well it is doing in its original country. And I also understand that globally, Godzilla minus one has also been doing quite well. So, what is the next step for Toho? Obviously, they haven't done a movie since this is their first Godzilla film since Shin Godzilla. But the thing of it is that maybe it's time for Toho to take another step. Maybe it's time for them to take another gargantuan kaiju-sized step into what they could do next. And there has been a lot of talk of them wanting to do a new universe. They've wanted to do a new Godzilla cinematic universe since, and I think that was the original plan. I'm not I'm just gonna throw my my tinfoil hat on real fast and talk about had Godzilla vs. Kong tanked, because it was projected to tank before the pandemic changed everything and made it a nice return to normalcy kind of film that gave new life to the MonsterVerse. It basically the original idea I heard was that Toho was going to take the MonsterVerse. I mean, not take the MonsterVerse, but take the rights back from of Godzilla and make their new cinematic universe. That's where a lot of talk was coming from, was that Godzilla, after how bad Godzilla King of the Monsters had done in the box office, Godzilla vs. Kong was meant to be the end. And don't deny that it wasn't meant to feel like the end of the MonsterVerse, because it really did feel Godzilla vs. Kong really did feel like the final, it could have ended right there. So there was, like, I'm convinced that originally that Toho was like, well, that was fun, we're gonna go back to making Godzilla movies now, thanks. But that's the thing, is that didn't happen, and now Toho is now doing a new film, but there's clear aspiration for doing more. Even Takeshi Yamazaki, the director of this film, I've seen a few interviews where he's talked about, like, wanting to do more Godzilla films. Now, is he saying, like, oh, I'm going to be the new Kevin Feige of Japan? No, he's not saying that at all. What he is saying, though, is that he has a clear interest in doing more movies. Like, he has a very clear film to want to do more movies. But I will say that, like, we have to take this all with a grain of salt. Remember, Toho Studios does not have the level of money that Warner Brothers does, or Disney, or other major studios. There is a very clear and obvious difference between Toho Cinema and the budgets for those movies and American cinemas. So it's always more of a gamble with those. It's very much more of a gamble for those types of films. But having said that, though, that didn't stop Toho in the 70s all the way up to the 2000s to make a franchise of these films. And but the thing of it is that making a cinematic universe in this day and age, again, and I know what someone's going to say in the comments, but Toho made a cinematic universe way back in the Showa era. I'm aware. I've watched those movies too. Here's your cookie. Anyway, but you have to understand, the budget for those movies is not the same level of budget that Toho has for the new, because now cinema has changed. While we would all love to see, like, man-in-suit movies, and trust me, even Toho has shown that they love doing these man-in-suit movies, but only for anniversary movies, the budget and demand for those for, general audience that Toho really wants to get at, because they all, like, Toho in one way or another always wants to, they always in one form or another always want to break into general box office. Like, they want to break into the, especially in American cinema. So so that leaves a lot of economic challenge. That's one thing you have to take into account. So from here on out, if, like, let's say hypothetically, Toho wants to make a new cinematic universe, like, what films could they use for this new Godzilla cinematic universe? Obviously, Mothra would be on the table, because Mothra always sells. But the thing of it is also, Mothra isn't the same. Like, let's say their next film is a Mothra movie. But the thing of it is, general audiences don't go, like, a lot of people, while they like Mothra, people love Godzilla. Like, people like Mothra, but love Godzilla. So, which is going to make Toho, and like we all know, money talks. So, what movie do you think general audiences are going to watch more? A Mothra movie or a Godzilla movie? And you could say, well, it's a Godzilla versus Mothra movie. Yeah, you could do that. You can do, like, a new Godzilla film and have him fight Mothra, but at the same time, how are you going to how can you, again, market that? And I'm not saying, like, oh, we'll just reboot and do a new film every year. Even I don't want that. Even I don't want a franchise where we basically reboot and start all over again every film. Like, I don't need that. I don't need a Godzilla-verse. A Godzilla Spider-Verse thing. I had a joke there. I lost it. Anyway. But that's the thing, is that I would really love to see them but the thing is like, Toho doesn't, like, again, we go back to the money thing, where Toho, should they gamble with them, at least start with a Mothra movie if they want to branch out with other movies? Yeah. The other thing I think they should look at more, and this is something I've been saying for a long time, is rather than, another thing they should mix with, if they, like, hypothetically decide to go ahead with this new cinematic Godzilla universe that they want to do, and maybe -1 could be the start of that, we don't know right now, is maybe bring in new monsters. Maybe a new kaiju should get a movie. Like, maybe we should get an original film of an original kaiju and breathe some new life in here. There's the thing is that, I love the Godzilla fandom. I really do. To an extent. But one of the problems I've seen with Godzilla fans is that they just want to keep digging at the well for monsters we've already seen. And I'm like, guys, I love King Ghidorah, but I can only see King Ghidorah so many times before I go, can we get someone else, please? Can we, like, get someone else? I had a little thing on my shirt. Can we just get someone new? So, and I'm not saying, like, maybe do a solo movie, but maybe Godzilla should fight a new original monster. We haven't had a new original monster since Megaguirus. And you could say Monster X, but he was still Ghidorah, even if it was called Kaiser Ghidorah. So, I think if they're going to go ahead with this, few things need to happen. Stick to monsters that we know if you're going to do this. Like, obviously, they're going to do another Mothra film. Bring in some new monsters, and I think, like, take a lot of notes from how well -1 did, and maybe play and do something of that degree. Like, show the world that kaiju films is an art form, like you did with this movie and Shin, and all the way back to 54. Yeah. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what should Toho's next move should be? Just comment below, let me know. Once again, I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope I had a point to this video. I really did. But yeah. Anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.